The O'Reilly Factor, the #1 cable news show for 12 years running.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Lose the Boss segment tonight. The General Motors Corporation received more than $50 billion in federal government bailout money. So far, it's paid back $24 billion and has given the Fed stock options to settle the rest of the loan. One of the most controversial projects GM has is the Chevy Volt, which some analysts believe is being subsidized by the taxpayer. The Volt, of course, an electric car that has been plagued with problems. Here now with the inside story, Fox Business anchor Lou Dobbs. So this follows our reporting on Solyndra. Remember the $500 million that I actually asked Bill Clinton about that. Whereas the federal government wants to have solar energy, Solyndra says, we'll develop it for you. Then can't, goes bankrupt, $500 million, bye-bye. Now the federal government wants electric cars. Okay, and it's the same thing. Chevy says, we'll build you the Volt, but we need a lot of money, and we don't want to come up with it. Do I have it right?
You have it right. GM did start working on the Volt pre the Obama administration. $2.3 billion has flowed directly toward the Volt.
From whom? Where did that money go?
From the federal government. It comes in the form of loans. It comes in the form of direct subsidies. It even comes in the form of subsidies to the lithium battery makers themselves.
All right, so $2.3 billion, all right, has gone into the development of this car that Barack Obama is now getting in behind the wheel.
In federal money. Right.
Was Bush responsible for some of that?
No, he's not responsible for that.
All right, so it's a 2.3 under the Obama administration.
Correct.
All right.
And the idea is that in addition to that, the state government of Michigan, which is already foundering under the weight of debt, throws in another $600 million.
So they threw in on top of it. So now we're over $3 billion of taxpayer money, federal and Michigan people.
But the good news is General Motors has built and sold over 7,000 of these cars.
7,000. All right,
7,
you're laughing. This is sadistic, Dobbs. You're being sadistic.
It is.
Okay. So
what are we to do but laugh at this madness?
The Volt costs $40,000, and if you buy one, you get a $7,500 tax credit. You can take off your taxes.
Throw that in there too.
Okay. All right. So why aren't people buying Volts like crazy?
Because the market had nothing to do with the decision on the part of General Motors. They're not meeting demand. They're meeting a decision by a federal government.
Look, if it's a $40,000 play with a $7,500 credit, why not buy it?
Well, still, at $32,500, it doesn't work.
Yeah, but look how many liberal people there are in this country who want electric cars.
Yeah, I think that we know one thing right now, is that there are fewer than 8,000 who want the Volt.
Why don't they want the Volt?
Well, it doesn't work. I mean, that's
what do you mean it doesn't work?
Well, it doesn't go fast and go far on electricity. What happens is it catches fire.
Oh, and that would be a detriment.
This is considered a negative when we're trying to move an automobile.
Now, are you kidding me? The Volt catches fire?
It catches fire, and one of the things I try as the humble reporter on these issues, I try desperately, Bill. You've got to know this. Your audience has got to know this. I tried hard to find out why, with fewer than 8,000 of these Volts sold, they've recalled now this week 8,000 of them, but they haven't sold that many cars. So we're still trying to...
So they recalled cars that haven't been sold.
That's right.
Because they said they catch fire.
They catch fire, and they want to find them before they do.
Right, which would contribute, I think, to global warming because fire is hot.
That's right. And
so the whole thing is a boondoggle.
Well, it's unfortunate because the Volt itself, as an electric car, may end up a fossil fuel itself. And that would be
they catch fire.
A contraindication.
So $3 billion of our money, and they build them.
Well, here's the other
they
problem.
Catch fire.
It's not just $3 billion, and of course that'll be amortized over the millions I'm sure they're going to sell in the next few years.
Not after this segment, but that's the end of that.
But the other little problem we've got is that $30 billion you're talking about, almost $30 billion that we have in stock as taxpayers and General Motors.
From the GM stock, but they're doing better though. Be fair to GM.
Yeah,
they had a good last year.
They were selling a lot of cars.
GM's car works fine. My car doesn't set fire, but I put gas in it. I don't plug it in.
Well, and I don't know how upset the White House is because all those cars that GM is selling, and these are, as you said, this is a happy thing.
I think
they are using fossil fuel.
We can be fair to say that this is an unmitigated disaster.
Yes.
Another global warming play, another environmental thing. I want the Volt to work. Yeah, I think you do too.
Oh, I want, yes, absolutely.
I would love to have an electric car.
I would too, because as a taxpayer, I'd like to get a little of that money back and an appreciating GM stock.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. All right, Lou Dobbs, everybody.